Hello, everybody. This is Dan Walker with RichmondSpiders.com. I'm sitting down with Drew Blakely today to try to discuss a little bit about how things are going. First off, Drew, how's it going with you, buddy?
So it's been a crazy couple weeks, not only for me but for everybody probably. I'm just getting settled in, moved out of my apartment off campus, and I'm back home. My family lives in Midlothian now, and so I'm just getting settled in, living at home in Midlothian, and trying to get into a routine of things.
I gotcha. I mean, obviously, this season didn't end where we wanted it to. Things were kind of cut short a little bit for us, this being your first as a Spider. Can you just go over kind of what some of your highlights were this season of your first year with Richmond Spiders baseball?
So the highlights are tough when we didn't even get to play a conference game, which is pretty disappointing. Didn't even get to play for a conference championship or anything like that. But I would say the two highlights for me were probably just opening up the season at Georgia. There was a sellout crowd all three games. A few thousand people came out to watch us. And despite the results not going in our favor, I think we learned a lot, and we came out of that weekend with a lot of confidence, and everything that we had worked so hard for, we really saw pay off that weekend, especially opening weekend down there. So that was the first thing that really jumps to me. And the second thing is that last series we had at Charleston Southern, I think was a really, really good kind of turning point in our season, starting to get ready for conference play and everything. I think that we had two really quality wins down there, kind of back and forth baseball games that we were able to find a way to win. And so those two things were awesome, despite a season of some disappointments. Both of those were big time highlights.
Right, and you just kind of touched on it, but explain the emotions of those 48 hours. We go back-to-back wins against Charleston Southern. We're getting ready for the Spider Invite. That's like our most games in the most amount of time. And then like the bus ride back where we start hearing about everything with COVID-19. And then eventually that Thursday before we're supposed to open, the season getting canceled. Just kind of explain that roller coaster of emotion, how you guys and how some of the team felt.
Yeah, so we finished up those two games at Charleston Southern, and the guys were kind of at an all-time high for the season, just as far as our confidence. We were playing well together. We were really starting to click offensively and on the mound. And we got on the bus, and Coach Raddick actually made a joke. He said something like, "Hey boys, hope you enjoyed your last wins of the season because the season's canceled." And at that time, it was kind of funny. It was just like at that point, it was a foreign concept that the NCAA would go through and cancel our season. And literally the next day, we started hearing that this was canceled and this game was canceled and this conference was canceled. And so it was just such a roller coaster of 24 to 48 hours. And I think I speak on behalf of everybody who was in season that it didn't seem real. It honestly probably took a week for it to really set in, like my season's over, and to have to say goodbye to some teammates in the middle of March is something that is just heartbreaking for everybody, especially the older guys. It's something you don't want to have to say goodbye that soon. And it was just, it was really disappointing. And it's still something where even a couple weeks later, it's something I'm still trying to work through myself.
Right. Now, obviously, one of the biggest adjustments we're all facing is like we're all working from home in the athletic department. You guys are doing remote classes, and you're 2 days into remote classes. How are things going with that, and what's been your biggest adjustment to that?
So the remote classes, I think that the biggest adjustment is just having patience with the professors, because on our side of things, it's pretty simple. You just you just click a link and up pops your class, and you just sit and you listen and you take notes. And so on our end of things, it's not that difficult. We have a lot of experience with just FaceTiming friends or whatever. But the thing that's so big is on the professor's end of thing, they have to try to present a PowerPoint or work through something that they're writing down, or they need to break us up into small groups. And so to have patience as the professors try to navigate this sudden change, my heart goes out to to them, because I think their change is even more drastic than ours. But just having patience with the professors, and that's probably the biggest adjustment. But other than that, it's relatively the same.
Gotcha. And then how, with all the uncertainty, I know you can say you got a year of eligibility left either way, and then some of the other guys do, and then concerning what the NCAA decides is all kind of up in the air. But how are you continuing to train for baseball, considering you do have a year of eligibility no matter what the NCAA decides?
Yeah, so that's something that that I've been talking to the coaches about, just kind of how I train, and we've kind of determined that for until April 1st, I'm just kind of letting my body recover. There was a lot of games in a short amount of time as we kind of came through spring break, and thankfully my body was feeling awesome. I was ready to go, but just kind of just an emotional reset more than anything else. I think that if I rush back into hitting or whatever, it would just kind of be a weird experience that I'm training like it's an off season in the middle of baseball season, and so I'm kind of just taking an emotional and a physical reset. I'll get things started back up April 1st. Thankfully, my dad, he was also my high school coach. He's really familiar with the game, and so he's the best guy to have, at least if we're all quarantined. He's the best guy to have to be with, because he great BP thrower. He's he knows what he's doing, and so we'll be able to get back after it starting here in a few days.
Sounds good. And then one question I didn't preface you with is, what do you think you miss most about UR? Like being at home, what's the biggest difference not being on campus, not being around the guys every day?
Yeah, so you said it exactly. The biggest thing is just I miss my teammates, miss my coaches, miss all the people who I grew so accustomed to spending 4 or 5 hours a day with in the season. That's stripped away, and now your afternoons are not filled with baseball, not filled with the camaraderie of the locker room and stuff. So I miss the guys. I've been FaceTiming a few guys and trying to stay in touch, but it's not the same when you're 1,000 miles away and you're talking to somebody through a screen as it is to have everybody together in the locker room getting ready for a game or celebrating a win or something like that.